Hey everybody, it's Taylor with Boydston Grove, and today we're gonna make a garden wall, a planter wall, a wall to put your plants on. Let's get into it. My wife loves to be outside doing some front porch sitting. She doesn't even listen to country music, and she's always coming up with new ideas to add to our outside area. We decided a perfect addition to this outside area would be a garden wall. It would serve multiple purposes, not only providing a little bit more privacy, but also giving Krisztina a place to plant her herb garden. As you can see, we have a little bit of a problem in that our porch does not extend all the way to the end of the house. It actually stops right in front of a window, which means if I put a wall there, it would actually go up right in the middle of one of our windows. To avoid extending the porch, I decided to put some framework at ground level for the wall to sit on. I'm using these cement footers to keep the wood up off the ground. After cutting some 4x4s and 2x4s and making sure the footers were properly set and level, I could set to work assembling this simple frame. I figured it would be easiest to assemble the frame for the wall on the ground and then lift it up in place. Unfortunately, we had to remove the squirrel feeder to make room for the wall, but that just gives me a reason to revamp it. Squirrel feeder video coming soon. Then it was just a matter of making sure that the frame was securely fastened. This thing's not going anywhere. Back in the shop, I started cutting the cedar fence pickets that will be used for the siding of the wall. Now, I don't know how it is where you live, but here in Florida, when I go to a big box store to pick up cedar fence pickets, they are soaking wet. And I usually end up having to rack them up and let them sit for a few weeks to dry out before I can use them in a project. With the siding cut, it was time for me to pull out one of my favorite tools that I don't get to use that often, the Milwaukee cordless framing nailer. This, my friends, is a tool time moment. I used a piece of cedar fence picket for my spacer, which is purposeful and will come to play later in the video. Once the siding was all up, I trimmed the ends of the boards and added some trim pieces. Then it was back to the shop to start working on some planter boxes. I made each box from a single fence picket. I decided to use pocket holes on all the sides except for the back so no screws would be visible. I did not use glue for the assembly because it's better that these boxes are able to drain, so they don't need to be sealed up. In order to make them hang on the wall, I added some L brackets to the back corners, making sure to set them out the width of a fence picket. I also screwed a small leftover piece to the bottom, making sure it was sticking out the back a little bit. To attach the planters to the wall, I just had to hook the brackets into one space and make sure that the small piece on the bottom of the planter slid into the space below. And with that, they're not only locked nice and tight into place, but they're not permanently attached, so they are movable. Alright, our garden wall is finished and I'm really happy with how it came out. Probably one of my favorite parts is the fact that these planter boxes are actually removable, so you can move them around to wherever you want. Originally, I thought it might be a little weird that it's set back from the end of the porch, but it's close enough that you don't really notice it, and having these planter boxes stick out a little bit really helps. This might seem like a really big project, but I was actually able to finish it in a 7-hour day. Now, in case you were wondering, we did get some felt to put on the inside of the boxes, and we do plan on putting some holes in the bottom for extra drainage. Let me know in the comments below anything that you would change or add to this to kind of kick it up a notch. Thank you very much for watching, be safe, and have a great day.